Two strangers closed in on her table. Her eyes widened, frozen in fear. And then, a child's voice cut through the silence. "Daddy, can we help her?" The restaurant was warm with laughter, the clink of silverware, and the comforting scent of roasted garlic. But at one corner booth, warmth gave way to dread. Two men stood too close to a young woman who had been eating alone. Their shadows fell across her plate, their voices low and sharp. She shrank into the seat, clutching her purse, scanning the room for help that never came. The other diners noticed. They always noticed. Yet not one person moved. Their eyes dropped back to their meals, their silence protecting their own comfort. And then a single voice broke the spell. A little girl tugged her father's sleeve. "Daddy, can we help her?" The man raised his eyes from his plate. Broad-shouldered, scarred, weathered by years of battles no one in this room could imagine. He had been invisible until now. He exhaled once, pushed his chair back, and rose. The girl held his hand as he stepped forward. His steps were slow, deliberate. No rush, no noise, but the air shifted around him. Even the aggressors noticed it, the difference between false bravado and real danger. The father stopped between them and the woman. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten. He simply looked into their eyes, steady, unflinching. "Leave her alone," he said quietly. Taste mic trying, two masked the unease, tightening their shoulders. "Not your problem, old man," one of them muttered. But he didn't move. Didn't blink. His silence pressed against them like a wall. Finally, he spoke again. "Walk away while you still can." The weight in his voice wasn't loud, but it was absolute. It carried the echoes of deserts, of battles fought in dust and fire, of nights spent listening for footsteps in the dark. It carried certainty the kind men like these had never faced. The two exchanged uneasy glances. Their arrogance faltered. Without another word, they backed away, muttering under their breath, and stormed out into the night. The restaurant exhaled. The woman's shoulders slumped with relief, tears brimming in her eyes. "Thank you," she whispered, voice trembling. The father only gave a small nod, guiding his daughter back to their table. The little girl smiled, proud. "See, Daddy, we helped her." He placed a hand on her hair and answered softly, "Yes, we did." The next day, as he walked her to school, the same woman waited near the gate. In her hands was a small paper bag, warm from the oven. "I wanted to thank you properly," she said, pressing it into his hands. "I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't stepped in." He accepted it silently, the faintest smile touching his lips. He had never sought thanks. Protecting was not a choice, it was instinct. His daughter looked up, beaming. "Daddy, helping makes people smile." He squeezed her hand gently. "That's why we do it." By evening, the story had begun to spread. People whispered about the quiet man who stood when no one else did. They repeated his words as if they were carved in stone. "Walk away while you still can." Silence isn't weakness, it's waiting for the right moment to stand. A week later, he returned to the same restaurant with his daughter. This time, as they entered, something remarkable happened. The patrons rose to their feet. No one spoke. No one clapped. They simply stood in silent respect. The father paused, surprised, then lowered his gaze. His daughter tugged his arm, whispering, "Daddy, why is everyone standing?" He knelt beside her, brushing a hand through her hair. "Because sometimes A-side's softly silence speaks louder than anything else." That night became more than a rescue. It became a reminder. True strength is not loud. It does not need to announce itself. True strength is quiet, steady, and unshakable. Every day, unseen heroes walk among us. They don't demand recognition. They don't seek applause. They simply stand when it matters most. And that is what changes everything.